Hey everyone, it's Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, continuing the tour across America with the 32 nominees for the Don Shula Award, that prestigious award. And we're going to be talking today with the Chargers Coach of the Year, Scott Altenberg from Serra Gardena High School there in Los Angeles. And boy, he's built quite a program over the last 20 years. Lots of players going into the NFL, and now his name is being used right alongside Don Shula. We'll ask him about that in just a little bit. But thanks for taking the time, Coach.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me. It's quite an honor. I'm very excited.
Yeah, the Chargers do a great job reaching down, as do the Rams, into the high school ranks, and we'll get that question to you. But I want to start off with you've been there a long time, 23 years, couple of state championships. You were ranked in the High School Football America 300 last year, powered by NFL Play Football. I think you're 111. You've done a lot of things there, and you've got the consistency, and that's where I want to start. For all the coaches that are watching this, especially the new head coaches, what are some of the things that you did right at the beginning that built the foundation that year in and year out means that Sarah's going to have a pretty good football program?
Well, Jeff, actually it's 25. I'm going on my 26th
Oh,
year as the head
sorry about
coach.
that.
So yeah, I predate Max Preps is going all the way back. So I'm actually before that. So, that's a great question because when I started, we're a very small school. We only have 380 people in our school, 185 boys. So we're small. When I first got there, we were in one of the lowest divisions possible in Southern California. And I just remember it was hard. We won 2 games our first year. We won 5 our second. But I remember that the key was that I needed to build it on what I believed in, and not to rush it. My dad used to say the thing, you can't get a little bit pregnant. You gotta believe in what you believe in. You can't do some things here and some things there. You have to believe in your vision, and that's what we did. So that's kind of over the years we grew, and then became where we are now. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch when I lived out there. One of the first things I was told is you got to check out his program and what you guys
Yeah.
do there and do it right. I mentioned earlier, you've had a lot of guys on rosters right now that played at Sarah, and I was just curious, obviously it helps to have good players too, but what does it mean for you and your program when you can say, hey, so and so is playing in the NFL these days?
Well, I also I teach. I teach government econ, U.S. history, and I teach a health class to my football players as freshmen. And I'm always talking about my former players and lessons they learned, and come as they come back. And I always say, hey, tell my guys a couple things, and it always is about being thoughtful in what you do, and making decisions without, it's the fly by night ones that get you. So for me, I love being able to talk about Robert Woods and his journey, and Adoree Jackson, and be able to have that kind of like barometer that they can look to, and they go, oh yeah, I know who that is. And so, and they're such great young men that come back and come work out or lift or see the guys. And so when we are such a small school, you do have kind of a family community, and it kind of keeps going. So that's pretty exciting.
What keeps you going in the profession? I keep saying this to people, guys that are 20 plus are kind of dinosaurs at this point, right? There's a big burnout rate. What keeps you happy and going every year with it?
It's hard. I mean, things are moving and changing all the time. So that, I think you have to have a mentality of, having kind of an ability to plan B, plan C. You got to, people who are really rigid on this is all I do and blah, 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 they struggle. You have to be able to move with the punches. And, my saying that I've always, I tell my coaches and my players, I always say, if it ain't broke, break it, because it will. And you need to stay ahead of the curve. So I think that my excitement every year is kind of to kind of rediscover who we're going to be this year, and not have like just this is, we're just kind of going through the motions, because I really feel like, one year we'll be a predominantly, passing the ball all the time, and then the next year we're running the ball, so, yeah, and doing 12 personnel, or a 3-man defensive front goes to a 4-man, goes, because it's what we have personnel, and it's just kind of like how we evolve. So I think if you kind of have that mentality, like the past, I mean, I love, people talk about the past and the success, but I try to tell my kids every year, my first meeting, that's over. None of that, all that, those are other guys' accomplishments. Your accomplishments are in front of you. So we start over. And
Mhm.
I think that keeps me young in the game as a coach, but my wife sometimes wonders. She's a long schedule, right? She's just
Oh
like,
yeah.
well,
Well,
so
back in the day, it was 4 months a year, and then you get a. It's not like that in football
no,
anymore. That's
no,
for
it's
sure.
the whole
Hey,
year long now. So
yeah, let's talk about the progressiveness in Southern California. And what I mean by that is you guys in the southern section there, and for people that don't know, the southern section is huge, 600 plus schools and all that. But they've started doing a kind of a competitive situation where, like you were talking earlier, you're one of the smaller schools and you're
yep,
playing at a lower level. Well, that doesn't happen with success now. Your
yep,
success means you're going to be playing the big guys, and we all know
right.
who the big guys are in Southern California. What do you think of the way they're doing it in Southern California, where it keeps you on your toes, and
Well,
success means you're not going to dodge people?
oh, there's no doubt. Trust me, I'm still trying to find another game, and the way we do it is everything is based on your results. So if you play a team that maybe is a little bit lower than you, they don't have a big desire to play us, because if they're going to go up no matter what, they might get in the wrong division. So it makes it hard. But for us, I mean, we work hard, and I feel like every week it's just we want to play the best that we can, and it's hard to like have a game where it's not like that. So for it's I like it because personally, like we've lost games in preseason and then gone on to win state titles, and so I'm not worried about that. I know that everything's a learning, is a lesson for my guys. So I think I think early on that I struggled, like losing a game. I was like, oh, the world is ending. But then I realized, well, hey, we're a lot better today because of that experience. So now, we try to learn from. Now I'm not an idiot. I don't beat my head into it every single week, but we try to get as best as we can.
Yeah, I get that. And the reason you're here, let's start talking about that. Chargers Coach of the Year, finalist for the Shula Award. Let's start with the question of what does it mean to you that the two teams there in the area really are digging down into the roots of the game?
Well, I'm a Charger fan since Dan Fouts was my like when I was a kid. Just I fell in love with Eric Coryell, and that changed who I was. I loved it, and so I've always been a Charger fan, and it's one, they come to LA, which is unreal. So I'm so excited about that. And then they nominate me for I got a helmet on my wall, here of of the Chargers with my name on it. I'm like, it's unbelievable. I think, and they've done such a great job reaching out to us, reaching out to the community. They were instrumental in us starting girls flag football. That was a big deal for us, and they were huge in it. The Rams as well, and they were all in, and all they wanted us to do was put in the work, show up, and they would support us. And the NFL, I love what the NFL is doing with all this stuff. I think it's amazing, and I love how they put it in the hands of the local teams. I think it's great.
You even got the Fouts beard going there.
Oh yeah,
Little ode
working
to
on it. That's
Dan.
what it's just age and laziness there.
I love it. And when I talk to all the coaches, I mean, obviously, as the head coach, you get all the glory. You also get all the crap,
Oh yeah,
all that stuff. But an award like this is obviously not just about you. Your name is
right.
on it. You're a finalist for the Shula. But I wanted to give you a couple of seconds here to talk about your assistant coaches and what they mean to your success.
Well, when you've been head coach for 25 years at a place, I've had more than half of my coaches been with me for almost 15 years. I rarely have a new coach. I mean, I have the same guys, and then I always bring some young guys. Like five of my coaches played for me, So it's really like they believe in us. You know, I always say it like it's definitely not a me thing here at Sarah. It's a we thing when we're so small. We have to do that. And so I love, my coaches kind of I give them a lot of jobs to do, and they get after it, but they know what we want. They know what we're about, and who we are and our reputation, and it means a lot to us. So when this happened, I called my coaches, and the first thing I said was, "Hey, we won, or at least we were nominated,"
Yeah.
and not me, that us, because football's not like a one man thing, So I think it's awesome, and I'm excited for it.
And I said this at the top, and this is my favorite question I ask since I've been doing this over the last 2 years, the coach. So you've got Scott Altenberg, and then you've got Don Shula. The names are side by side in the
Just
same
side by
sentence
side.
there. How wild is that? I mean, is it like comprehensible to you?
Oh, first of all, Don Shula, was as a coach, the standard bearer. And I was a little young when he was, obviously I think one when he went undefeated, but so that was that. But just the whole idea of that was the coach, those coaches when I was growing up were Tom Landry and Don Shula, stoic dudes on the sideline, and just like I love coaching. I feel like I'm stealing money, when I go to work every day. And now for someone to say, "Oh yeah, you're like Don Shula," kind of, in a small way, I'll be like, "Yes, thank you, whatever." I'll be, anything to be associated with someone like that. So yeah, it's exciting.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time with us. Best of luck with the overall award. I know it's what do they say at like the big awards things. It's nice to be
Yeah.
nominated, but it's also nice to win.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm glad they don't have an Oscars thing where they have all our faces up and then they show the winner and everyone's like,
I love it. Well,
"We'll
thanks
see."
for taking the time, Coach.
You got it there, Jeff.